Hi everyone, and welcome to Members Update. Please, as always, check the other video where I talk about the overall market conditions. And it does seem like overall, short term, it seems to be finally pulling itself out there. Bull market back on track. I think this week we'll look for a confirmation of that. So let's check in on a few things. There's oil, USO, and still a beautiful uptrend there. I was in here. Really nice gain just on the stock alone now. The options I took it actually are on fire, and that's what you want, movement, and that trend is really nicely intact. I mean, it could justify coming down a little bit, correcting, as long as it stays in that upward channel, so that's good. Let's look at tile. So yeah, that one was one that stopped out a while ago, so I won't look at tile. With one I was meaning to look at is INSS. Sorry, INSS. What's going on here? PNSS. There you go. Okay, so there was the entry point way down there. So very nice gains. That one has got up to a new high actually this week, so that's obviously very bullish and very nice for the profits on this one. It's stayed open all this time, nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, points wise there, if you're doing spread betting, that is obviously 5,200 points, so that's looking very good. Let's just check that actually. If it depends on how many you're betting there, that's $50. So $50, so that would be 5,000 points. So nice gain on that one. IMMU. There was the entry point down here, 897. We've definitely got that 100% of gain now just from the stock alone, which is great. Take £1,000 and dollars and double it 10 times and it becomes $1 million. So doubling is great, but this one just keeps going on. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's check in with the pound. So the entry point was way back here, so it's still a profit, but this one being just, it's annoying the way this week it just ticked out of the 40-week like that. It's close, and as I did say last week, it broke its trend. So that was a stop out anyway, but I just keep watching things out of morbid curiosity as much as anything, just to see how well the system is. And yeah, it's hanging in there. And what's happened is the dollar, as I said, did a big counterattack and is kind of stabilizing there so far. Which this is amazing. I was just looking at the pound. I took a decent profit on there, as you know. But it's for any forex traders or even commodity traders need to keep an eye on the dollar, and this is the chart to look at, the UUP, because you can see what's happening here is we could be seeing a turnaround here. The dollar has been in a long bear market for about a year now, quite an aggressive one. And nothing lasts forever, of course. And all the time that was going on, that you could have, bet on things anti-dollar going up, pound, euro, whatever, yen, etc. So that was a sort of, ongoing winning bet, barring the counterattacks like this one. But this counterattack could be different because it's got back above the 40-week, and the 40-week is turning up. So that could represent a shift in what has been a massive, long bear market for the dollar. But also, we'll have to see how this unfolds, because if more money is going into dollars, then that could represent the people taking money off the table in other things, taking money off in stocks even, so on. So it's important to keep an eye on that. And let's look at gold then. Still stabilizing above that 40-week, and this week it just confirmed that by bouncing off of it again. So that's fine. It's above the 40-week, and the 40-week's turning up. So it depends with gold. It's not entirely dollar related. There could be signs of inflation starting to appear, which we're seeing with oil going up. And let's see what's going on with copper. And copper's back above its 40-week. So it's different. So commodities could be going up on the back of inflation worries. Let's look at FCEO, which is going by the weekly chart. This one's just beautiful. We're hanging on to that 40-week as if it was a brick wall, and there it goes, just keep on bouncing up. And it's just such a clean chart, which is what got me into it in the first place. back here. So there's a significant gain on that stock already. But I just look at all the upside with that one I keep pointing to. The line in the sand is the 40-week. ONCS. This one is just hanging on there, and I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, and it's just a penny stock anyway, but it's got such a clean chart, just like FCEL. So still hanging there on that one right now. Let's go RDNT. Yes, a very interesting week this one was. So here was the entry point, which was irresistible, as you can see, as it was just on a collision course with the 40-week. We go up here, enjoy some really cool, running profits there. And I said the line in the sand was this 50-day last time. And then look what on that. And here's, if ever there was a case, this is a great lesson. If there was ever a case by going by the closing price rather than the intraday price, then wow, that was it on the 9th of May. That was that, holding that position. And if you had to hold that position, you know what I'm talking about. That was obviously crazy. But look at that closing price up here. It closed almost just right on there. And okay, that was the cue to stop out. And then, you still stopping out there resulted in a huge profit of like 50% almost. But had you, succumbed to this rule about, oh no, you just got to follow the intraday price, whatever it's hit, then look how low it would have been. You still had a profit, but just look at that. Now that sort of thing stinks of manipulation, to be honest, because I don't know. It's almost as if this is what can happen as the specialists. They force the price down just so they can buy it back, and then here we go. We get back in again. So whilst I was stopped out of that one, I'm very suspicious about that whole thing that went on there. It could even be a bullish sign as it was manipulated so other people could get on board. I mean, you look at the weekly chart now, and it's really nothing wrong with it. So annoying. But I did say that was the line. If you're still in, anyone who's still in, I would say stay in. And if this one comes back to the 40-week again, as it did sort of on this intra week, I think that's a great looking stock. And there's an example of what I think is manipulation and a good lesson about stops. And finally, DQ. So there was the entry point around here. Usual scenario. Support colliding with rising 40-week, up it goes, stabilizing really nicely there. There's a 1,000-point gain here already as it stabilizes beautifully above the 50-day even. So that's all for now, and I'll speak to you in crypto.